Chances are, if you've spent any amount of time living here in Cedar City, you've heard of something called the Good Old Boys Club. And what the Good Old Boys Club is, it's essentially a group of families and business owners here in Cedar City with deep, deep ties in Utah that have been here for generations. And they exchange their power and their money and their influence with each other, and they grant favors to each other and basically run the entire political trajectory out here. People like our old mayor, Garth Green, who owns all these plumbing stores out here. People like Kay Rand Bettridge, who is running unopposed right now for the open Iron County Commissioner seat. And people like Rex Shipp, who I'm actually running against this November. The thing is, people who live here don't want to live under this system. They don't want leaders who are only accountable to each other rather than the people who elected them. And the fact that you have to be connected to this club to get into power out here is not only a detriment to getting the type of representation that rural Utah deserves, but it's also un-American, it's undemocratic. Frankly, the majority of these men who are connected, they don't understand the diversity of the viewpoints and the experiences and the struggles of the people that they pretend to represent. Most of them make over $100,000 a year when the average income in their district is less than 40. The majority of them are LDS, or at least they say they are. And I've got nothing against Mormons, but the fact of the matter is that 50% of the people living in Cedar City are not. And the Good Old Boys Club leads to the types of corruption that we see with the Iron County Commissioner's son, Blake Cousins, being the Iron County Republicans treasurer and embezzling over $2.1 million from the HOA that he works for. Gambling it all away, kidnapping his wife, and then getting off with no jail time. HOAs are a whole other subject that I could talk about for hours, but for the sake of brevity. If you live in Cedar City and you're tired of your local government being owned by a Good Old Boys Club that doesn't represent regular working class Utah families like yours, then vote for me this November. My name is Thomas Loveheart, and I'm a lifelong independent who is running for Utah House District 71 against the Republican incumbent Rex Shipp, because I realize that simply having Republican written next to your name on the ballot doesn't mean that you're going to represent the people who live here. I'm running because I want to make sure that everybody who works full-time in this district can afford a home in their hometown. I want to make sure that they can afford their health care so that they don't lose every time the first time that they get sick. And I want to make sure that we actually protect our air and water from these giant data centers that they're building, rather than repeatedly go against the will of their constituents to try to sell off our public lands, to try to rig our maps, to try to attack unions. When is the last time that a politician out here actually passed policy that made your life better rather than just making someone else's life worse? The truth is that we deserve real representation out here. And in a district that 78% of voters vote for the Republican on the ballot every time, we don't get that. I moved to Cedar City because I love rural Utah. I love the mountains, the forests, the red cliffs, the rivers, the streams, the big fresh air and open skies. And the Republican supermajority that dominates our state politics just does not hold those things sacred in the way that I do. I'm running to represent the people like me in this district who are sick of the hyper-partisan, toxic divisiveness and actually want real policy and real legislation that is going to solve our real problems, instead of another performative culture war flag ban or book ban or trans kids in sports ban that do nothing to actually help the working class people living in this district, while they pass a million other laws in the background that destroy our communities. Did you know that the Utah legislature passed 500 bills last session? How many of those can you name? How many of those have actually changed the way that you live your life for the better? Listen, I know that we're not going to agree on every little thing in terms of my approach to solving our problems, but at least I am trying to solve our problems out here. And that is more than the Republicans pretending to represent us can say. I know I'm not the typical type of person that gets elected out here in Cedar City, but I have real plans for how to improve the lives of working class people like me and like you. And most politicians out here don't. You're lucky if you can find their positions on anything except for LGBT issues and abortion, let alone how they're going to actually respond to the issues that really, really matter. Like water, like housing, like jobs, like healthcare. Take a chance this November and vote for someone different, someone independent, someone who does not belong to any national party or ideology or platform, someone who actually belongs to the community that they live in and only wants the best for it. I have nothing to gain from taking down or disrupting this rigged system, and everything to gain from fixing it. You can learn all about me and what I stand for on my website at voteloveheart.com. And if anything I'm saying resonates with you, please consider donating to my campaign, because this is as grassroots as it gets. And I've only managed to raise maybe $1,500 so far, and $1,000 of that came from my own bank account. But I need yard signs, I need travel expenses, I need snacks and drinks for volunteers who are knocking door to door. If there's anyone you know or any connections you have that can get me in front of people to talk about what I believe in and help this campaign succeed, then reach out to me. Send me a DM, send me a private message, because I care about what you care about. Republican or Democrat or unaffiliated or libertarian, we all love Cedar City and we all chose to live here, and we deserve representatives who care as much as we do.